All right, so when we talk about detachment, obviously you're not going to be able to just erase your memory. The things that you experience in life, the beautiful people that you have experiences with, they're going to become a part of you in some way, fashion, or form. You can't just forget about them, but you can cut the emotional cord or the spiritual or energetic cord by which we stay connected. For example, your thought patterns, your mindset. If you're continuously thinking about this person, you're releasing hormones that are going to control your thought patterns, control your feelings, and then your actions. You end up like deviating from what you're trying to do, your purpose in life, or you're deviating from your values, you're deviating from your purpose, your foundational principles, and things like that. And so this is where, instead of just thinking, hey, you can forget about these people, you detach completely to the point where they have no relevance in your life. No. What happens is you start to integrate, you do self-reflection and take responsibility. This is one of the leadership principles and traits, seeking self-improvement by taking responsibility for the things that you could have controlled. And if you were unable to, why is it that you were unable to? And then in the process, you can reflect and start to integrate what you've learned into the unconscious, keeping in mind that the majority of the things that we're thinking about, our thoughts and our experiences, filter. I think there were studies that showed like 80+ percent of the things that we experience or our thoughts are filtered through our unconscious. And so we want to integrate the things that we learn from those experiences with the people that we're trying to emotionally detach from. You can emotionally detach from them and focus your energy where it needs to be, like letting go and letting what will be, becoming the vibration of your vision and your idea by thinking about it and thinking that you are in fact already it. And so now you start to embody, your energy starts to move in that direction of embodying the very thing that you want to do. And so you have officially detached your emotional connection, having integrated that which you've learned into the unconscious. And so as you move forward, that unconscious has been integrated with all of these valuable lessons of who you are. You're uncovering parts of your unconscious, and now you can integrate those things. You've downloaded information, so to speak, and now you are implementing those things if you choose to. Remember, a lot of people get out of bad situations by getting into other situations that numb them from the pain of having had an experience that did not that they did not prefer, or they did prefer it, but somehow they sabotaged it in some way, fashion, or form. And a lot of times we don't realize just how much we sabotage things sometimes because of our unconscious and those unresolved things. And so when you're detaching, there are some people out there that suggest, don't worry about detaching. No, you must consider where your energy is going to, because if you're in a relationship, for example, where your energy is going somewhere that it's not being reciprocated, and you haven't set boundaries, you're going to continue to bleed your energy. And your energy is very valuable. It's invaluable, as a matter of fact, in reference to your ideas and where you want to go in your life. All right, everything, the goal that you have in life, your prosperity, okay, your purpose and your vision of doing things in this world, you embody, and then everything that you want comes with it. All right, it's magnetic. Your electromagnetic signals and these chemical hormones that vibrate or make your body vibrate. You're in vibrance. You take yourself out there and you explore the world in various ways. You meet new people. You become more nuanced, and you use those nuances to integrate those experiences without gaining emotional attachment that deviate you from what you're trying to do. And so it's very important to remain detached in a certain extent and recognize when it is that we are attaching ourselves in an unhealthy way. We're living in a world today where we have access to everybody. Everybody's dating everybody. You get off of one dating app. I'll never forget, this is recently. I see one dating app that says, for people who are wanting to get off of dating apps, join this app. And it's like, you're going to have a hard time selling this one to me. You're telling me to get off of an app, or get off of dating apps. I have to get onto another dating app. Sell that one to me. Makes no sense. You have people who are on dating apps going on to Christian dating apps, and they end up doing the very same thing and corrupting the dating app with the same shenanigans that they were doing on the other apps. Point being, we have access these various branches to where our energy is going a certain way, and we end up having to take no responsibility for that energy transfer. There's no intimacy involved in it. And when there is, people can cut ties, but you have other folks who naively and unknowingly, I suppose, go hand in hand. Although naivety comes with, unknowingly, you're not even looking at potential, perhaps. Whereas naivety, you see the potential in people and believe that they will actually can blossom and become that which you idealize them to be. If that makes sense with being naive, that a person can actually change, for example, or especially if they haven't done the work to integrate what they've learned and take responsibility. All right, so I see this stuff about not having to worry about detaching. It's a simple concept of how it is that we've attached and where it is our energy is going to. If you haven't set boundaries, if you haven't integrated the things you've learned from being attached emotionally and having to battle through darkness to understand what happened and why you did the things you do and how you can protect your peace by becoming more emotionally stable. How do you do that? Well, now you realize that maybe you didn't set boundaries. Why is it that we need to protect our values and our self-worth, dignity, self-love, self-respect, those values, your integrity of those values and the integrity of your principles, specifically foundational principles that I talk about often. So you have to set boundaries, and these things are very important. So the whole concept of attachment and detachment go a long way in discovering the understanding of these concepts and aspects of our spiritual lives. It's a mind, body, spirit. So you can't just say spiritual. It is your mind, body, spiritual aspects of life, because they all go hand in hand, as it turns out. All right. So there's that one.